Did everyone bring their kids' phones? I'm just curious.
Yes.
Oh my god, you brave souls. What, did it cause any fights?
No.
No.
No, just
Wow.
about the passwords, because she's like, I don't remember my passwords. They're all saved.
Oh, they might just automatically.
Yeah.
But if there's Face ID on it,
Yeah.
then as long as you have the passcode to get into the phone, then I think then you
Okay.
can probably follow along. Okay. So obviously social media is a scary place. Me as a school counselor who only has other people's kids in my life, I'm scared of social media for them as well. The idea for this came on because there was a moment where I was with a kid and I noticed that they were doing something a little bit questionable, and then where there's smoke there's fire, and we found a whole lot of fire. So based on that experience, and mom had no idea and thought that she could trust her and all this, so I showed her a lot of things that she did not know about the social media apps. And elder millennial, I know a lot more maybe than some of the generation that's parents right now, so I figured I would just share what I know. So I'm going to talk about 3 different things. We're going to talk about some social media stats, what they don't want you to see, and what we can do about it, parental controls. So some social media statistics. I just love all these little stickers. They're so cute.
I'm sorry, did you say your name?
Oh, sorry. I'm like, everyone knows who I am. I am Anna Blevins. I'm the 6th grade counselor.
Okay.
Yeah, and then, so Ashley Harper's back here. She's our lead counselor. She might pop in and do more of the parent stuff since I'm not yet a parent. Okay, non-school related screen time among teenagers has doubled from pre-pandemic estimates of 3.8 hours per day up to 7.7 hours. And that is like the most recent data. It's crazy how much our world has changed since the pandemic. Everyone being stuck at home, staring at screens all day long. 46% of teens report being online almost constantly. Part of that is probably also having the media at school, or like, you know, Chromebooks at school, feeling like they're always connected. Even with Chromebooks, we have issues with kids that are staying connected at school too. Drama circles starting, you know, people messaging, opening a Google Doc because they think it looks innocent, but they're actually, it's like a live chat feed, basically. Their favorite social media apps. 35% of kids said that Snapchat was their favorite. Yes, you can imagine why. 30% said TikTok, 22% said Instagram. So just quickly going to get into what they don't want you to see. Do you know about any of these things? Finstas. Are you aware of what a Finsta is?
Nope.
Some are, some are not. Yeah, I would love to see you raise your hand if you know. So there's also decoy apps. Do you know what decoy apps are? Do you know what a private story is? Or a close friend's story? Hidden DMs, recently deleted, school ship accounts where somebody is just like putting images of their kid that they find or take and putting them together against another person in the school, and then they're like, we're shipping them, we're hoping that they get together, and it's like a way that they use that to test out their crushes. They're like, maybe he'll find out that I like him whenever my friend strategically posts this picture, and I'd be like, I don't have any control over this. Plants a seed, you know? Vault apps, where they keep things, but it looks like a calculator. Spam accounts, just kind of like Finstas, but it's a lot, just maybe just like memes and other stuff that they find funny. Screen recording. Sometimes when kids post like on social media, there's a way to, and you think that it's gonna just like go away forever, like on or Snapchat. If you start screen recording before you go in, it won't let the person know that you have copies of their like story. Because it'll show you when they screenshot it, but the hack around that is like you start screen recording and then you open their Snap. Snap map, you can see down to exactly where I am standing in the building here, which was really strange. Private DM requests, there's a couple different buttons you have to click to get to see these things. So that's a lot of scary information. There's also some other apps that you probably should know about. So I'm gonna. Is there sound? No. No, there is not. Okay. Mr. Howell. Did not sound. No sound. I can only do so much with technology. No.
Sir, would you mind exiting out of the full screen, please? Mind if I make sure you do?
Yeah.
You do?
Oh no, I don't care. That's wrong. Oops. I know.
Where your sense is.
Settings entirely. Oh, obviously.
Right.
Ah. Oh no. What did I do? Okay.
Internet safety tips.
I can do this. This will work.
Someone broadcasted this.
I know, I'm gonna put it back on there. Alright. Everything's fine.
Fine, we're good. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Brandon White, Customer Success Specialist here at BART, a parental controls company. Today we've got the top 5 internet safety tips parents need to know about. Some of them may surprise you. Let's dive in. Tip number 1, where there's chat, there's danger. Protecting your child from strangers on the internet is one of the most important things a parent can do. If an app has a chat or messaging feature, there's always a chance that predators could use it to target your children. No app is safe either, including fitness tracker apps, religious app chat rooms, or games for kids of all ages. That's why it's important to know which apps and games your kid loves. Watch them play, or better yet, join in so you can see exactly how it works. Also, make sure they know to tell you if anyone makes them feel uncomfortable, and not to ever give out personal information to someone they don't know in real life, no matter how nice they seem. Tip number 2. Vault apps can hide things your kids don't want you to know about. Hidden or vault apps are apps that look completely harmless, but are actually used to hide pictures, messages, or even other apps. To make it even more secure, some vault apps require a passcode. Though there are many different kinds of vault apps, and they're constantly changing, one of the most popular ones looks like an ordinary calculator. If you're concerned your kid may have a vault app like this, pay attention if they have more than one calculator app on their phone. They could be hiding things they don't want you to know, or anyone to know for that matter. One way to help prevent vault apps is to use a parental control tool like Family Link, Apple Screen Time, or Bark to manage what types of apps your child can download. Tip number 3, private Instagram profiles aren't so private. You probably know that private Instagram accounts are a good idea for kids. But did you know that strangers can message your kids on Instagram even if their account is private? Talk about scary. Fortunately, you can make it so that strangers can't DM your child. Here's how to do it. On your kid's phone, open Instagram. Tap their profile photo in the lower right corner. Then, on the next screen, 3 lines at the top right. Little icon is called a hamburger. A screen from the bottom will slide up. Tap Settings, which is the gear icon, then tap Privacy. Scroll down to Messages and tap into that. This is where you need to be, the message control screen. Tap Others on Instagram and then select Don't Receive Request. That's it. Now, if a stranger sends a message request to your child, they'll never even see it, which is definitely a good thing. Keep in mind though that kids can always turn the setting off. Tip Twitter isn't just for news. It's actually full of porn. This one may surprise you. Twitter probably isn't the first platform that comes to your mind when you think of porn. It's more known for breaking news and celebrity gossip. But Twitter's search function is basically a Google search bar. And typing in porn can lead to a dizzying array of profiles, tweets, and links with pornographic content. I was shocked too. Kids have figured this out and turned it into a go-to spot for porn for 3 main reasons. First, Twitter doesn't look suspicious if a parent does a quick browser history check. Second, because Twitter isn't exactly all the rage with Gen Z, it's not something parents tend to worry about too much when setting screen time rules or creating web filters. Finally, kids don't even have to sign up for a Twitter account or use the app to access its content. They can browse anonymously through a web browser. Like our advice with the Vault apps, we recommend blocking access to this app and website if it's something you're concerned about. Tip number 5, kids use Google Docs for more than just schoolwork. When we were kids, we did homework in paper notebooks. Today, kids use Google Docs, which is a collaborative digital file. But there are also chat rooms, social media, and even diaries. When you glance in your kid's room and you see them typing on a white screen, it could be an assignment, or it could be a real-time convo with classmates about Fortnite or Harry Styles. There are also dangers when kids use Google Docs for reasons other than book reports. Because kids can hang out in Google Docs and chat, bullying can and does happen. A lot. Too common for kids to harass and exclude others. Lastly, some kids may keep it private and pour their hearts out into it, hiding feelings of depression, anxiety, and suicidal ideation that they don't want to share publicly. We hope this video has helped you learn about some of the more pressing internet safety issues facing families today. It's a big world out there, and we're here to help. Visit bark.us for more resources that can help you keep your...
And we'll send this out so you guys can rewatch it and everything too.
Can I just say something about the Google?
Sure.
As Ms. Levins mentioned earlier, we definitely have kids in class who are on the Google Hangouts, and we've disabled that for lots of students who are repeat offenders. However, the Google Doc thing, you guys would be at home seeing your child on a Google Doc, and like she said, it's like a live chat. Other kids can be in there, and there is a lot of bullying and exclusion that goes on. And we actually do also have the journaling thing that he was talking about, where kids are writing private thoughts, and it may be some serious concerns. When that happens on a Chromebook, a school-issued Chromebook, we get what's called a gaggle alert. If there's anything concerning, even the word bullying gets gaggled, it gets flagged, and it gets sent to us as the administrators, and then we do contact the kid, the parent, you know, whatever we need to do, we do respond to that. But if it doesn't have any of those flagged words, we would never know that it's going on. So it would be wise if your child would let you get into their Google Drive sometime and just go through some of their documents just to make sure everything's okay.
You can even log in, not even with their Chromebook, you can get their like LCPS email account because it's attached to that as well.
Yeah.
So if it opens up on somebody else's like personal device, it's still, Gaggle still is able to read everything that they write. And then there was another point I wanted to make. Oh,
And their email address, you all know, is their ID number at
Yep.
lcps.org.
but their password, we can reset the password if they are like adamant about not giving it to you, or they're like, oh, it doesn't work, you know, I can't log in and do my homework for 3 years, you know. But we can fix that, yeah, because I think it's important that we need your help keeping them safe too. So
Parents try to keep kids safe and away from harmful online content, but it's more difficult than ever because kids have smartphones with them every minute of the day. No matter what parents seem to do, kids will always find a way to do what all the other kids are doing. Our consumer tech Tucker has a look at some tricks that the kids use to do what they're not supposed to be doing.
Apple and Google have some pretty good parental controls on their smartphones that allow parents to monitor what their kids are doing on their phones. However, kids know some secrets. These secrets they hope you don't find out about. They don't use traditional text messaging like we do. They use apps Snapchat, WhatsApp, WeChat, and any of the dozens of other messaging apps their friends use. These offer encrypted messages that disappear after they're read. So even if you look, you won't see anything. They may not even be messaging apps per se. Gaming apps, Discord, Twitch, and others give users the ability to send messages and images. Checking for these apps can be difficult. If someone wants to hide apps from their smartphone, it's easy to do now. On iPhones, parents can scroll past the home screens to see a listing of apps loaded on the phone, or tap their account in the App Store, then purchase to see everything that's been downloaded onto the phone. Kids can hide chats, messages, images, and videos inside hidden locker apps. These are often disguised as music or calculator apps. They require a secret code to open them. But they also have a secondary or dummy secret code. So if parents demand to see inside the locker, kids can give them the dummy code to open a locker with images they don't mind them seeing. Google Docs can also be used to send and share private messages and lock them up so no one else can find them. The best advice for parents of children: talk with them, let them know what your expectations, dangers that are on these devices. And if you're a parent of a child 12 years old and younger, ask yourself, do they really need a smartphone, a computer in their hands all day? That's What the Tech. I'm Jamie Tucker.
There is an effort in schools to encourage parents to wait until their child's in the 8th grade before giving them a smartphone as a matter of safety.
Yeah, that's scary. There are a few options for parental controlling. I know a lot of people have iPhones, and that comes with its own little like screen time monitoring stuff. I don't personally have a Samsung or anything, but I think that these are also compatible with Samsung phones. So there are different options that you can use to manage the parental controls, and each of them will have their own training and stuff like that. So if you were interested in finding one to try and get more control over what your kid's up to on their phones and their devices, then this would be good, because it can also do other devices too, like tablets. It can be connected to just like the overall Wi-Fi in your house. But they are smart. They are so stinking smart, and it is so infuriating, because the second that you get caught up and get a parental control added in, they gotta hack for it. They're legit kids on
application.
YouTube
So
teaching them
if
how
they
to do
save
it.
a YouTube link, it can. So let's right into it. The first kind of basic way kids get around parental controls is time on their device. If you set a time limit or something like that, then if they go into the settings of the device and change their time, they can circumvent anything that you've shut down after a specific time frame. This doesn't really help for time limits, because that's kind of calculated differently, but it will help them get around anything that you shut down at a specific time. So now this is going to be really device.
This is something that Miss Harper had to jump out of here real quick. She personally uses for her kids, like during the hours that they would be in school. She has a setting that she can do remotely from her phone that says my kid cannot use these apps, or it doesn't have like internet access or something. I forget which way I feel like there's two different settings that she can do, but between the hours of like 8 and 4 or whatever. But I really wanted her to see this, because I don't know if they know about this.
Specific, so the way to kind of circumvent their circumvention of your parental controls is to first make sure they don't have access to the settings of their device, and you can do that through Screen Time or through Google Family Link or other third-party applications that help you block certain apps. But you can also help prevent this by setting time limits on the Wi-Fi itself. So anything the device thinks it's the wrong time, but the Wi-Fi is going to always know what time it is. Set those controls at the Wi-Fi level. This is why we talk about layers for sure, because if they're changing the time on the device, then that will only affect the device. If you have other layers of parental controls, it's still not going to circumvent those. So that's number one. They change the time on their device. The second one is the one I've already addressed. I feel like we talk about a VPN almost every video, but it is a really important thing to understand. So the kid can install a VPN and get around your parental controls. There are a couple of different kinds of VPNs, so make sure that you are understanding exactly which VPN they might be using and try and shut it down. So, you know, they can have a VPN application on their phone or device. They can use a VPN extension for a Chrome browser, because, you know, has all these different extensions. If they install a VPN extension, then that can also circumvent it. So definitely watch for any of those VPN applications anywhere that could be installed. The next way kids get around parental controls is using the share to function. So if they take a picture with their phone and they click share and say they share it to a text message, up the text messages in a different kind of pseudo application, and that application is not actually blocked. So it opens up the text message, they delete the photo, and then they proceed to do the text. They can do this for several apps. So if they click share to, it's basically opening that app inside the app and not counting time towards that application. So make sure you're just watching for that. If they're spending a lot of time in an app that seems like notes or the photo gallery or things like that, then they're probably using that application to circumvent the restrictions that you've put on any of those other apps. Again, you can make sure that you know exactly what apps they're spending the most time on through Screen Time for iOS or Google Family Link. The next one that they use is kind of similar to the sharing function, and that's just saving links inside Notes application. So if they a YouTube link, it can open that YouTube in that pseudo Notes application. So again, you're just going to want to watch for anything that is happening in an app that just seems kind of strange. Like, why are you spending so much time on Notes? Or why are you spending so much time on Google Docs? Because if they're in a Google Doc, they can click the link and it opens up in this pseudo application and they get around the parental controls that way. The really low-tech way to get around parental controls is just figuring out your password. I got a super funny message when I was out of town with my friends that my son had figured out. He's the one that told me. He goes, "Mom, I'm sorry, I figured out your PIN code on the first try." And I thought I was pretty sneaky with my PIN code, but he knows enough of like my kind of passwords and numbers that I like, so he figured that out. And luckily he came and told me exactly what had happened. The really funny part was that he kept requesting time after he told me he had figured out the PIN. So even though he could totally override it, he kept requesting time while I was out of town. I kept approving it, but it was really funny that he would still request it even though I knew that he knew the PIN code. I just really like that he was still requesting it. That made me really happy. They can figure out your password through a couple different ways. A, just knowing enough about you that they could try different numbers that might be important to you. The other way is sometimes they'll set up a screen recorder and then hand the phone to you, and then you type in the PIN code, and then they've got a recording of it. You know, or they can just go super low tech and watch over your shoulder, kids turn around, or you know, go out of the room whenever I type in my password for anything that I'm approving for their devices. Those are the kind of three ways they can figure out your password, just by, you know, knowing enough about you, by screen recording what you're doing, and by just looking over your shoulder. So definitely watch out for those, so that, because if they know your password, they can override any parental controls that you have put in place. Another way kids get around parental controls is by changing DNS on their device. A lot of times content filters will work through DNS misdirection. And what DNS is called name this, and it's basically Google Maps. It will take an address, so google.com, and it translates it into an IP address. And that IP address is the location of the server that houses that website. So through DNS, it'll give the device directions to that server so it can display the website. So a lot of content filters will use this and give bad directions. So it'll say, oh no, google.com is over here. What automatically gives it its DNS settings, or if it's on manual, it's something that you have entered is going to be a way to circumvent any time restrictions that you've got in place as well. Another really low-tech way that kids get around parental controls is by just stealing the device. So if you take the device at night, you say, oh, all the devices charge in my room at night, or all the devices charge in the kitchen. After you go to sleep, they'll sneak downstairs, they'll sneak into your room and take the device back. So definitely watch out for that. Again, with layers, you might be able to stop that from happening because the Wi-Fi will already be off. So even if they take their device back, they won't have internet access in order to circumvent that. So make sure that you have different layers in place so that if they take their device back, then it's still going to lock them out and they won't be able to do anything with it. One of my daughter's favorite ways to get around parental controls is going down the YouTube rabbit hole. So she'll open up a YouTube video while she still has time and then keep that YouTube running constantly, either by just clicking the next video or just letting it continue to autoplay. And so if they've created a playlist before they get shut down, it can just play those videos, and they can even just continue to use the assistant. Instead, they get a message, they see your time, do you want 1 more minute? And a lot of times they can keep hitting that 1 minute. Sure, it's a pain, but that because if they're using it beyond the time frame that you've set, they could be deleting it and reinstalling it and resetting their time frame over and over again. Way that kids get around some parental controls. And a lot of these are having to do with kind of app themselves, but obviously we've covered other different ways that they can get around different kinds of layers of parental controls. This one is again specific to app control. So if they reach the limit on Instagram, they delete the Instagram app, download it again from the App Store, and their time starts over. So definitely watch out for that, because if they're using it beyond the time frame that you've set, they could be deleting it and reinstalling it and resetting their time frame over and over again. In conjunction with that, Apple devices will give them a 1 minute warning to say, hey, you've reached the end of your time, do you want 1 more minute? And a lot of times they can keep hitting that 1 minute. Sure, it's a pain, but I've seen kids do that for hours, just keep hitting that 1 minute, yep, okay, and continue to use the application beyond the time frame because Apple gives them that choice of continuing for 1 more minute. So speaking of notifications from earlier, a lot of times you can actually respond within the notification, especially on Android devices. You swipe down and you reply right from the notification itself. So that's a really easy way for kids to get around parental controls, by just using the notifications and responding within those notifications.
So she has a lot of different videos. If you have time, I think it would be super beneficial for you to spend time watching some of them. She has a lot of great suggestions, and I don't know how she gets the information that she does, but she does somehow. So, but yeah, so a quick question and answer for you guys. But then I'm gonna go ahead and share my phone to the screen and kind of show you where to click, where you can find some things that you might not love. And I'm sorry, but it's better to know, because I just, especially at the middle school level, I grapple with the boundary between giving them their privacy and letting them be their own person, and then also making sure that they're being safe and not getting sucked into this adult world of how to manage these things and not fall for things and being safe. At this age in the middle school arena, I really feel like it is more than appropriate for you guys to be all up in their business. So, because I just don't think that they can self-regulate enough, and they are the ones that the people that are on the internet that are bad want to find, because they don't know enough about life, how to say no, and they get sucked into things. It's really easy for them to get into those situations and not know how to get themselves out, and then feel like they're going to get in trouble for coming clean and asking for help, so then they don't. So, is there any questions before I go ahead and start clicking some buttons? Okay. This is the good part, I promise. Okay. Okay, so my phone screen's going to scare you. None of these look like apps, right? I mean, I can rename them and change the photo on them to whatever I want. So, this is Facebook, this is Instagram, this is TikTok, this is Twitter. These are my, I have the labels because I will forget which one is which. My fiance picks up my phone, he's like, all right, where's the camera? I don't know. I'm like, it's over here, it's got a camera. You know, it's not natural. So kids can literally delete what your typical idea is of what an app looks like these. I got lazy, I couldn't finish my original idea of doing them all like this. But yeah, so you can still have two different versions of the app too, but if you're just looking for those images, they can get around that. So don't just glance at it and think that they don't got it or something, because they probably have figured out how to do what I did.
Question for you. Do you suggest, like, if you're trying to do an inventory, that you start doing the apps search to see what they actually have?
Oh, yeah.
Tell you where it is, and then instead of clicking every
so
picture.
What she was saying on the video here, App Store. So this is a list of everything, like the little cloud thing means that you had downloaded it at some point. So they could be downloading stuff and then deleting it before they hand their phone to you, and then re-downloading it later. So I would, if there's like a certain like thing that you want them to not have on their phone, then you would want to check and see like the history of like when it was last downloaded.
If you have parental, like in our home, we have parental controls that our kids can't download an app without us getting a notification. We actually have to approve it on our devices. But I'm sure there's probably a workaround for that.
Right, probably. I don't know personally off the top of my head what it would be, but if you started looking on YouTube, I swear you'd find the answer.
We have the same thing for our kids, and thus far, I have not found anything downloaded that they did not ask permission for. So I agree there's probably one, but my kids haven't figured it out yet. But that would be a good, just like occasional check to see what.
They could be using the VPN DNS thing, like circumventing the parental controls by having a proxy browser inside of another browser, you know? So it looks like they're just like, you know, scrolling on Safari, whatever, but in reality they have like a totally different like iCloud account that they can access different apps or different social media accounts from, but it looks like they're just spending time on Google Docs or something.
Yeah, but with Family Link, the cutoff time is 13.
Mm-hmm.
And these kids set up emails with different birth dates.
Yep.
So they can go around it.
Yep.
Is there any way or
being up in their business is the only way.
Any service.
Being all up in their business and knowing more than they do, or trying to keep up with the trends. Random checks, but being transparent about checking I think is important, because you don't want them to feel like you're like a gotcha. You want to hold them accountable. You don't want to like make them feel like you can't trust them ever, but they need to show you that they can be trusted. I think it can break the trust between a parent and a kid if it happens behind their back. I think it's better when you don't let them know maybe when you're gonna do it, but you do it in front of them so that they know, like, okay, I'm gonna be held accountable for what is on my phone and what my habits are.
Yeah, that's really for Android. My friend was telling me that she can check her child's text messages on her iPhone.
There's a way to mirror that. There's a way to, and you can probably, there's another way that I was thinking also. You could have the iCloud account of your child linked to an iPad, and you can see everything, because my phone and my MacBook are linked. So if I get a text on my phone, I'm gonna have it in my little text messaging app on my computer too. So if they have something like an iPad or something, and my iPad at home does the same thing. So all of my conversation history, every picture of my camera roll there, you know. So yeah, that would be one way that they could do that.
Although when kids get older, I have a high schooler, like texting is like so old school.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing too.
Like if you said text someone, they'll be like, what? Because they do it
like,
through
ew, I'd rather snap them.
Yeah.
I like the eye roll.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I try to be just like them so they think I'm one of them, you know. I'm planning a wedding, so that's why they think I am always interested in wedding stuff. So that's what you're gonna see on my feed. Instagram. This one is mildly popular with the kids. It's more so the Snapchat stuff right now and TikTok. But Instagram has a couple of different features that I'm sure that you guys might not know about. This is where the Finsta stuff comes in. So this is my little social media page. There are different accounts that I have that I can just get to with a quick click. Like a Finsta account is really dumb, honestly. Like, this is just a dumb little spam account. This is where I might post more, I guess, where I'm saying I as in a kid. I clearly don't post at all, but more raw, less polished, more authentic, vulnerable pictures is really what the trend is for that, and it's for more of your closest friends to like tease each other, make each other laugh, roast each other, or, you know, honestly, they just like to share certain things, but they don't want the whole world to see, so they just put it on a Finsta. And then this also, you can like post a whole story and everything too there. And then, so looking over here at, where'd that go? Oh yeah, you can see your activity.
How'd you get that?
I don't remember. The hamburger. And then go to your activity. Time spent, how much time I spent on Instagram. Honestly, that would be embarrassing if I clicked on that. Photos and videos, interactions, account history, recent changes that I've made to my account, recent searches,
Do
links.
you see private stories on there too that were posted?
Yes, I'm going to show you that too. But I think what else is interesting about this, what would be important is any links that I've clicked on that have gone out of the app through Instagram, archived, any content that I've posted then archived, recently deleted. If I post something and then I delete it later, like you can find it on the recently deleted tab right here too. And then downloading your information. You can actually request your data from Instagram, and like then you can know everything that they know about you, which sometimes you might learn something about yourself, because I just tried that last night. It was weird. But yeah, so they have a lot of information that they have stored in Instagram, and it's dangerous for kids because, well, it's good to know, I guess, what they're into, especially at this age. So this is the messaging app. Ashley was obsessed with me DMing me.
You told me to.
I know.
Where's the hamburger? I'm like, I don't even know the hamburger.
So okay.
Sorry,
It's a three line to the top
So,
right.
like,
So it's not on the homepage
You
of
gotta
the
go to your
button.
profile first? Okay, I got it.
Yeah,
I
so
got
then
it.
you go to your
I
profile
was
and
like
then you go to
hamburger, I'm
hamburger.
like looking for a hamburger. Okay,
Yeah.
do one of those.
And
I never
then
knew it as a hamburger either.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm too old.
And if you guys see some inappropriate memes, I'm so sorry, but this is also what your kids would see. So that's kind of raw and authentic too. But yeah, so that's what's on Instagram, literally. So on this, if you see down here, if I'm swiping up, swipe up to turn on vanish mode. So they can have conversations that like look like nothing. So that looks a little suspicious because you can't see the last message that she sent me, but it's vanish mode. So that's a little disturbing. There is also over here, it says 0 requests because I'm unpopular, I guess, but I'm actually not because there's hidden requests. And sometimes, most of the time I end up getting stuff like they want me to like collab with them and like get free jewelry, but like it's a scam. Don't ask me how I know. I'm just but kids legit can get
that's a scam. And they
yeah.
say, oh my gosh, they want me to model.
They want me to be a model, and then they get roped into that. Then they steal your social security number and your identity, and then their credit is ruined before they even get any. So, so that's one way. Or it could be some creepy dude seeing that there's a middle schooler on this account. So like, ha ha ha, DM them, and then they see, oh, I've got a request. Make them feel special. They're going to respond to it. What else did I want to show on? Oh, you can post. Oh God. Hey. Just my foot. Okay, you can post to close friends only. So there are certain things that they don't want everyone to see on their story, and you might think like, oh, if I follow my kid on social media and I can see their story, then like that's fine because I'll know what they're up to. They could have a whole different personality on this private story, getting all in this drama or whatever. Let me see if there's anything else that I can think of on Instagram. Oh yeah, so when you're posting a story, oh yeah, you can also go live, which I've never had a good experience with. Every kid that has ever gone live has been like drama. You can, questions, ask me a question. Basically, a kid's version of insult me, kill my confidence, like start drama with me, make me feel like you hate me and then I hate myself. Yeah, not great for mental health.
Is there also a version of that in Snap?
Yes. There's also entire apps dedicated to this that are even more anonymous, which is weird for me because we used to have this app when I was like in high school and it died for a while. Yik Yak. There was a big like blow up with legal thing. I can't remember exactly what happened, but it's just dangerous. So this is another trend that's been happening. So I just downloaded it to try to show you guys what it is. But yeah, it's a social board that connects you with people around you anonymously. Now, whose insane idea was this? Makes it so fun. Like, that's so messed up.
So it's not just people that
It's people that you're in a 5-mile radius of that have a cell phone and also have Yik Yak. Creepy.
Oftentimes, kids will say, I want my Instagram or Snapchat to stay connected with my friends. It's how we all message. It's hard to argue with that, right? Things like Yik Yak, the ones that are completely anonymous, they truly have no purpose. It serves no purpose because it's fully anonymous, so they can't say, oh,
so they just go on there and start rumors, make threats, talk bad about other people.
Right, so if they say, I have Yik Yak because all my friends have it, well, you don't know that because it's anonymous, so, you know, if that's the excuse, if I want to stay connected
So
to
this
my
is quite
friends.
literally within a 5-mile radius of us right this moment. And also, content warning. So sorry.
Well, but this is what,
Feds are cheap.
it's what your kids are saying.
I don't know. Yeah, but this is literally like what they would be reading.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Also, what you hear in the hallways, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm not sure. I've not used this app recently.
Well, I would just say it's just what it is.
Yeah, just delete it. If you see it, delete it.
Yeah, it's just there's just no reason to even try and let them use it. Basically, it's just bad news bears. Okay. A similar app to that is Whisper. It's more like Pinterest anonymously within a radius. I don't get it, but you know what? They do, so I'm gonna try. Reddit do not recommend for children. Discord. Discord is another one that seems innocent, but what will happen is they will get on there, they'll play a game with somebody, and then the somebody will take them into like a chat room and be like, hey, what's your name?
The chats are anonymous at this point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've actually had kids like, they've had, sorry, my cat.
But not all the chats are anonymous.
No, some of them have accounts where they have friends. They're able to like go live with friends and play games on there, and then they're chatting with each other. And anytime that there's a chat feature that is not immediately accessible to a parent, like that's where naughty things happen. Yeah. Snapchat. This one is the bane of my existence. So this is the Snapchat like screen thing, obviously. Do you guys personally have Snapchat? I'm just curious. Like, do any of you personally? Do any of you use it like for yourselves, or do you just use it to like stalk your kid?
Monitor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Either one.
So I've experienced using it both personally and to be stalking. So this is the creepiest thing ever. So right now it doesn't know where I am because it's a little bit off.
I find if you don't have your Wi-Fi on or
Yeah, I don't
something,
have it on.
it's less.
It's a little bit off.
It's less accurate because I get notes of that.
This is Julia's house. This is where she lives. This is my friend. She's pregnant. Her little bit Boji is pregnant. I know. She got a little belly and everything. That is her house. First of all, why is she not at work? She works at a school.
So I have a question about this screen here.
Yes.
Can anybody outside of who they are friends with on Snapchat find them?
The settings for that.
The settings can prevent anyone from that. It can prevent strangers, like, because there's probably tons of millions of kids that have this, and I don't see them on my Snap Map because I don't have them on Snapchat. But their friends can probably open up their Snapchat and see where they all are. It's only if they are friends, and if you allow, if the child's settings allow them to see that. You can also change it to only certain people can see your actual location too.
You can say, I'm in the app right now.
Yes.
It says you can set it for my friends can see it, my friends except these
Right.
people, or only these friends. And then you can put it in ghost mode, which
Yeah.
removes your last location, which is
Yeah, so
when
this
you have a
is me.
16-year-old
I'm in
that drives,
ghost
you don't
mode.
want that one on.
That's my Bitmoji in ghost mode because I don't want people to know where I
Yeah.
am.
I think it's good for something.
Yeah. No, that's definitely something that they need to be aware of.
So the location only updates when you reopen the app.
Yes.
So that's probably why Julia's home right now. She didn't open Snapchat today.
Oh, she's being
So,
responsible.
yes.
Wow.
If you have a teenager, it's always open, so.
Imagine not being on your phone right now at work.
No, Julia. It's a creepy app.
Oh my god, yeah.
We landed
So
at
then
spring
I'm
break
going
at
to
the
show you this
airport,
over
I
here.
got text messages saying,
Over
"Hey,
here
you're in
next to
Florida?"
Potomac Station Playground, this big glowy thing, you're supposed to click on it.
What does that do?
There's random people making stories. I honestly don't even want to hear what these are, but I can guarantee you it's probably not great.
And this is for all over the world. Like you
Yes,
can go to
you can go
any country
anywhere.
and click on the glowy light and see what people are posting from there.
Oh my gosh, I think I'm gonna vomit. This is
It's
stressful.
wild.
I was just on here a few minutes ago, and vaping. Those are vapes.
This is Leesburg.
This is Leesburg, located at 707 East Market Street. And then here's the other thing. Here's the other thing. You can message them.
Oh, wow.
You can subscribe to them. You can DM them, and get their vapes for 70% off.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Oh, wow. You probably have been doing it.
Yeah. So this is all, like, I have no, this is just random people. And then they could also be posting these things and be on here. But yeah, probably because it's over your Spankies.
Yeah, probably.
It's just weird. It's just.
There's a lot of older people on here.
Yeah.
A lot of time doing
Right.
this.
I think older people kind of do use this to see what's going on and meet people in a weird way, but yeah.
The stories last 24 hours.
Yeah, so then they go away after a while publicly, but they, somewhere in the cloud, you can retrieve them still. That's like how you request the data, what I did to myself last night. I was like, oh my god, like these weird selfies that I took when I was like in college, I'm like, you still have these? It was weird.
You guys all have or know about the Life 360 app, right? To be able to track your kids' whereabouts.
Yeah.
But aren't there workarounds
What
on
is
that
it?
too? I think if you turn it on airplane mode, you're not.
Yeah, no,
seeing
they
it.
can definitely turn it off. It's just like in my house, it's a requirement. You have to have it on. If you don't,
Right.
take your phone when you get home.
That's right.
That's right. And it's just
But I think you could
tracks where they
freeze your,
are.
I
So
think
it
you could
says,
freeze your
you know,
location though. So it looks like
Preston
it's
is my
on.
son. He's at this address, and if he starts going somewhere, walking or getting in a car with someone, then it shows exactly where he's driving and how fast they're going.
That's a great app.
What's the name of it?
Life 360.
Life 360.
And the whole family, you can make a family, so they can see where I am. They
I
can
can
see
see
where
how
their dad
fast
is.
my daughter's driving. I
yeah.
can see when she on her brakes. But I do think that there's a way that they could freeze their location so it looks
Yeah, I
like they're
know.
somewhere.
Yeah, sure.
She's always right.
On Snapchat,
It's crazy.
you can be added to a group Snapchat by someone that you know and also by people that you don't know. If they have your handle or your number somehow, or somebody shares something of a way to contact you, you can be added to a group chat, and you can keep added. You can get re-added, and even if you leave, re-added. So.
And we've had
It's hard to
lots
escape.
of issues with that, with like a bullying that will happen. And I'm like, why are you even talking to these people? They put me in the group chat. And I'm like,
And then they
you
keep putting
leave?"
me in,
And they're like,
and then
I
keep-
did leave, and they brought me back. So
Block them.
Yeah.
Do not just. The kids just
They
don't know
block,
how
but
to
they'll
not.
block, and then the person will use a different account.
They'll make a new account, yes they will, but you just gotta keep blocking. That's the only way to keep handling
And
it.
hopefully they'll eventually give up because
Yeah,
it's
because
not
they-
as much
they're-
trouble. They can go into something else.
And I always tell kids it's gonna get worse before it gets better because that's just their tendency. The second that you start to push back, they're gonna try harder, and you have to be stronger than they are. Don't let them have access to you. They can't conceptualize that. They think that they need to handle it by engaging with them, and they don't understand that they have other options. They see no other option, and they might need you to do it for them so that they can learn that this is a successful way to handle things. And you're not avoiding the problem. You're just not letting them have access to you because they should not be allowed to have access to you. I could not even imagine if I had social media when I was a kid in this age.
Do you see that Snapchat is more, do you see it equally dispersed or utilized with the boys and the girls?
Yes.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. My son
1000%.
doesn't have it, but maybe he has no interest in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I told her to send this. Don't worry, she's not that obsessed with them. But you can save it and replay it.
And screenshot it.
And screenshot it. And like I said, if I had pressed and held the replay button, and then I turned on my screen recording outside of the app, and then I went back into the app, it would not have told her that I have this photo video of her now.
Where does it get saved? Inside the
In
app?
my camera roll then.
In your camera roll. Okay.
Yeah. So if I do a screen recording,
So that's one thing. So do you alert your children that that is a possibility? But then you're but then you're giving them the.
Then you're telling them. Well, at least it wouldn't be theirs.
Yeah, that's true.
It's to combat the it disappears. Like,
It does not disappear.
And you
I
never
have the
know
gory
that
evidence
it
to
will
prove it.
disappear. If somebody's captured,
My
then it
ugly selfies from 2011. Questionable decision.
Anna, we probably have about 5 more minutes.
Yes, so this is the other big thing that I wanted to get to. Yeah, I have no idea. Hi, okay. Yeah, so I'm obsessed with my cat. The coolest people story is a private story that I just made for this purpose. Because that you can have multiple of these. Like I can add, this is my my friend's story that everyone in my friends can see. I don't currently have anything on it, I don't think, but there are other stories that I can make that only certain people can see. So, my breakfast, okay? And then 1 of 2 people have seen it that are allowed to see this story. When I was in the other child's phone that sparked this whole conversation for me, there was like 15 different private stories that she was in or that she had like created or participated in. They had screenshots of other people's conversations talking about inappropriate things. They had posted stories in the school bathrooms. There was threats being made. There was just a lot of stirring the pot drama stuff. That's where a lot of the drama happens, is like on social media, and if they have their phones at all in school, they're not supposed to be out, they're supposed to be in their lockers, but they always find a way to be sneaky. So basically, yeah, it's just, there's just so much drama on the phones, and if we can at all regulate the way that they learn how to handle their social media, I think that's going to be the most advantageous thing, because it's not going away. We just got to roll with the punches and stay in touch and in tune with the trends, because they are going to be on social media. If you can, yeah, forever and ever, just like me. I'm going to be on it forever and ever. But it is just, it changes the way that their brains work. It is the culprit of a lot of drama, a lot of depression, a lot of like insecurity. It's the bane of all of our existences, and also it is addicting and super fun. Yeah, so it's very complicated, but there's ways to do it in a way that they can be safe, and I think the biggest thing is just having an open dialogue with your kid about all of the dangers and what you hope to see from them and what they can expect, and letting them know that like if they get themselves into a situation where they don't know what to do, or they feel like maybe they screwed up and they're afraid to tell you, to not be, because you want to help them, and they're not perfect, and you're not perfect, and you're trying to learn alongside of them. And if they're in a situation that they need help, that you can be that person that they go to, that it is okay to make mistakes. Some kids hide things from their parents because they don't want to ruin the narrative in their minds that their child is an angel, and like they want to be an angel for you, but then they get themselves wrapped up in this big problem, and then they implode. It gets bigger and bigger. So.
And please do not allow them to sleep with any devices.
Oh my God!
At all.
And do not let it charge downstairs.
Don't need it for an alarm clock. Get them an alarm clock at Target. They're like $2. No, it's too tempting. They cannot keep their hands off of it. It disrupts their sleep, and lots of bad things happen after 10 o'clock at night on social media. So I would just keep in our room, and the door is closed, and nobody comes in. And
I
of
would
course, their
sleep with it
screen
under
time
my
is set
pillow.
too, to shut off at whatever time I say. So if they did happen
Turn
to
off
have
the
it,
Wi-Fi.
they can't do anything about it.
Because they're going to go on the Chromebook too. They're going to be like, Mom, I got to stay up late. I got to work on this project.
Yeah,
no.
Yesterday. So, well, I do think it's one of my thinking Chromebook.
Nope, that's all chat. They're chatting.
Oh, they're chatting.
Yep.
They're not doing homework at 10 p.m., I'll tell you that. They're on YouTube.
Everyone's minds are blown. How many children are grounded this weekend?
I know, I'm like, I am the villain today. Today's superhero villain day. I am both the hero and the villain. I'm about to out a lot of people. Yeah.
I have a question. Anyone has Bark? And
I
does
do
it work?
not have Bark because I
And
don't have to. That's what I want.
do you get Snapchat and all those kind of stuff? Does it really work?
There's a lot of
attempted
videos
to
on
do
YouTube.
Bark several years ago when it first came out. I was just not smart enough to figure it out, but it looks like it has a lot of really good features.
Yeah.
And I've watched some videos on it and stuff too. So it monitors everything, keystrokes and everything. But with like they get their Chromebook at school, I don't know if the Bark account covers anything they touch, or is it just what's on my Apple iCloud account? I don't know. So I didn't pursue it, but I've heard good things about it.
I watched a ton of videos on this when I was like researching. I love the idea of Bark. I would highly recommend doing research and considering it.
It's supposed to like alert you if there's certain things that
Yeah.
like kind of like with
Like
the
Gaggle.
Google Hangouts. Yeah, it was like if words come up or in
Yeah.
your text, or it will just send you alerts. I've been
Yeah.
looking into it too.
Yeah, it's like all those hot topic words.
Yeah.
that-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can hang around for a little while if anyone wants me to take a peek at anything on their phones and try to explain things if there's any acronyms you're concerned about.
Did you go through the screen time while I was out of the room?
No.
You don't have to pull it back up.
I was just wondering if you wanted to do that on your phone.
Well, there's a class coming in.
I
so
know.
we can't. But Apple users, you all know that you have something called screen time on your, if you control the cloud, the iCloud account, you can set those parameters for nothing over the age of 12, certain videos you can't watch, language you can't see, books you can't read, and of course you can set your downtime. So at 10 o'clock, let's say, everything is turned off on that phone. They can't text on it, they can't do anything. I do that for my kids during the school day as well. My 8th grader, who goes to different schools, she cannot do anything except text me between 8 and 4.
And she can't change the settings on her own.
She cannot change the settings on her own. I have a password.
Because she
they don't
set
know
it
the
up.
password. Right.
Yeah, Android doesn't have that.
Yeah, I don't-
yesterday
that's what I
I
don't
called
know. Yeah.
Samsung and I was like, Apple has this. Do you guys have that? And they sent me Family Link. I said, that's up to 13. And then other things that they put, that's only for 4-year-olds. I said, okay, well, I guess.
Because the guy on the video mentioned Android. One of the
Yeah,
videos
there
showed, it
is
said
a
Apple
way.
and
There
Android,
are some
but I don't know.
Android options. I think that Bark has an Android version. I'm pretty sure. I didn't. There must be.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
does. But Samsung really.
Yeah. So this is also.
Kindle price.
And
He's done something with his phone today. Well, good. He should not have his phone. If he has it, you have my
I cannot wait to see Kendall.
And you can call him.
I do the whole
You can come to do it. Wow. All the time. I'm like, hold
Thank you for coming.
I did the Google document thing during school and he just sends stuff to other kids and church. You guys are your school.
It's really hard. I mean, the teachers can try to turn this on real quick.